like this. They out, running, ghosts. But they was out, they was ghosts, nowhere to be found.
This man being 100% the father, to me being 100% the father. Who's the father?
Well, why doesn't that make sense? If the other guy is not the father, why wouldn't you believe you are the father?
Because there's a third person involved.
And if I'm at the club, I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna socialize, because that's what you do at the club. I'm not gonna stand and hold up to that.
Wow.
You all up on them, all
I'm not all
like
supposed to comfort. Just met this guy, so no. I thought it was dancing with you in the club.
You won't believe this opener. Judge announces the case of Washington versus Steinhardt. The plaintiff, Mr. Washington, claims that a brief affair with Ms. Steinhardt led to her falsely claiming that he fathered her 3-month-old daughter, causing strife in his engagement with Ms. Culmer. Stick around. The drama's just heating up.
Mr. Washington, you say the defendant, Ms. Steinhardt, was a 2-night stand that went, and as a result, she's claiming you fathered her 3-month-old daughter, your fiance. Ms. Culmer says your relationship in turmoil because of Ms. Steinhardt, and you're both desperate to prove you are not the father.
Sean.
Here's where the plot thickens. Mr. Washington and his fiancée, Ms. Culmer, express their desperation to prove that he is not the father of Ms. Steinhardt's child. They emphasize the turmoil the situation has brought to their relationship. Next up, see how Ms. Steinhardt fires back.
We had a little thing going on a couple months ago because me and my fiance got into a little argument.
Well, the real reason is because she just wants my family. She wants to be me.
Nobody wants your family.
First,
Nobody wants this man.
Cue the counterattack. Ms. Steinhardt asserts that she and Mr. Washington were in a relationship and had planned to have the child together. She is confident that Mr. Washington is the father, countering his claim of a casual encounter. Don't go anywhere. The courtroom is about to get even hotter.
You say that's not true, Ms. Steinhardt.
No, that's not true. Nobody's jealous of her. Nobody wants her family. I just want him to step up to the plate and take care of his daughter as we plan to.
Here comes the backstory. Mr. Washington details how he met Ms. Steinhardt during a stay at a friend's house following a disagreement with his fiancée. The discussion clarifies the timeline and nature of their interaction. Wait till you hear what comes next.
Me and my fiance got into a little disagreement. I was staying at a friend's house and I met Teresa over there.
If I was seeing anyone, I said no. I asked him the same question also. I said, are you seeing anyone? He said no.
No, that's a lie, Your Honor.
Then we took it from there. We was together like that whole week.
When you say together, that means having sex?
No, like we was just like hanging. Took me to his family member's house, introduced me to his family.
And then it all came crashing down. Ms. Steinhardt describes how she discovered Mr. Washington had a girlfriend when confronted publicly, which led to a rapid departure from the scene, hinting at Mr. Washington's attempt to keep his relationships compartmentalized. Just wait, the tale twists even further up ahead.
How did you find out Mr. Washington had a girlfriend?
Basically, we was walking to the store. She was yelling from the other side of the block, like, oh, I see you.
And then I said, oh, I see y'all. Then they started walking like this. They out, running, ghosts. But they was out, they was ghosts, nowhere to be found.
I don't know what you was on.
To be clear,
Hold on to your seats, folks. Ms. Steinhardt recounts the moment she realized she was pregnant and Mr. Washington's reaction, leading to disputes over his acknowledgement of the situation. What happens next? The court's about to drop a bombshell.
He called me and he was like, I think you need to take a pregnancy test because I think you're pregnant. Yes, you did.
I never called you. You try to contact us all the time.
You didn't call me?
No, I blocked your number.
You called me
You
from
kept
a
calling.
free number. Let's
never
be
called
real
you.
because
I
your
never
phone
called
was
you.
off. He asked me to take a pregnancy test and I went down to the hospital and I took a pregnancy test and it came back positive and I let him know.
Can it get any more convoluted? Debate intensifies over the nature of the relationship and the paternity of the child, with Mr. Washington denying claims of a longer relationship or plans for parenting together. The DNA results that follow might just break the internet.
so how does that feel to be pregnant and find out this man you thought you were in a relationship and his girlfriend is pregnant? How does that feel?
I didn't know she was pregnant to the end because a few times I asked him, I was like, why are you always with me and never going to see your children? He's like, oh, honestly, she's pregnant with a baby girl and I don't know if she's mine. Every child she has had by him, he asked her for a DNA test from what I know.
Grab your popcorn, here it comes. The climactic moment arrives as Judge Lake reads the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Washington, you are not the father.
Thank you. Now have a great day with your life.
Right at the 7-second mark, the courtroom drama kicks off with the case of Morgan versus Mangum. The plaintiff, Miss Morgan, stands firmly, claiming Mr. Mangum is undoubtedly the father of her 3-week-old daughter and aims to cement his paternity to rescue their rocky relationship. The air is thick with anticipation. Buckle up because this ride is just getting started.
You say you are convinced Mr. Mangum is the father of your 3-week-old daughter. You claim that his paternity doubts have led to tension in your relationship and you are desperate to prove is the father father to save your family.
Yes, Your Honor.
By the 31-second mark, Mr. Mangum casts a shadow of doubt over the paternity of the child, suspecting Miss Morgan of stepping out on him. He teases the presence of some hefty evidence that could flip the entire case on its head. The courtroom braces itself as things are about to heat up even more.
You say Ms. Morgan was unfaithful during your relationship. Bombshell evidence that will prove her baby is not your biological child. Is
Yes,
that
Your
correct?
Honor.
Miss Morgan passionately refutes the infidelity claims, pleading with Mr. Mangum to embrace his role as a father. The verbal volley intensifies, with both sides demanding concrete proof from each other. Just when you think you've seen it all, the next twist comes barreling down the pike.
I'm sick of him denying our 3-week-old daughter. He hasn't done anything for her since she's been born.
I'm not gonna take care of another man's child, Your Honor.
This is your baby. She looks just like you. She's a 1-year-old daughter. She's yours, pup, and do
She
what
been
you have to
unfaithful,
do.
Your Honor.
He's lying.
That baby look nothing like me.
Okay.
She looks just like you. Are you blind?
So you say your family's on the line, Ms. Morgan?
Yes, ma'am.
At 2 minutes and 18 seconds, Brandon, Mr. Mangum's brother, steps into the spotlight, testifying that he has caught Miss Morgan cheating not once, not twice, but 3 times. This bombshell testimony throws a wrench into the proceedings, stirring up a storm in the courtroom. And believe it or not, the revelations are about to get even juicier.
My name is Brandon, Jacori's brother.
He says you have evidence that confirms that Ms. Morgan has been cheating in the relationship.
I have evidence I caught her cheating 3 times, Your Honor.
You actually submitted an exhibit to the court to outline the various times you caught Ms. Morgan cheating.
Yes, Your Honor. I actually have proof, Your Honor.
Brandon dives into the details of the first alleged cheating incident where he claims to have seen Miss Morgan with another man. This accusation begins to sketch a scandalous picture, raising eyebrows and questions about her loyalty. Fasten your seatbelts as we dive deeper into this tangled web.
The first time I caught her cheating at my family home when she was picking up her daughter, and
So you saw her in the car with another guy
yes,
I
Your
must
Honor.
have a twin that isn't me.
at your family home.
In the car with her, then they drove away.
So did you show up with another guy, Miss Morgan?
No, Your Honor, I didn't. He's lying.
So
They
you
have
were never in a car with a guy?
No, Your Honor. They have manipulated his other family members.
Your
They
Honor.
have him thinking that he's not the father when we all know he's the father.
The narrative thickens with another claim from Brandon, stating he witnessed Miss Morgan at a food market, cozying up to the same man. The plot thickens, piling on the suspicion. Keep your eyes peeled, because what comes next is sure to be a doozy.
The second time I caught her cheating, Your Honor, at the food market, when I saw her pulled up, he got out and she got out, they hugged and went inside the food market, Your Honor.
That
Yes.
must have been my brother. I have a brother. That isn't me.
That's the same guy.
No, it isn't the
Yes,
same
it
guy.
is.
That's not even me. I don't even know what I'm talking about. That's not me.
Around the 5-minute mark, Brandon alleges a third encounter, claiming he followed Miss Morgan and her mysterious companion, further asserting her unfaithfulness. Each claim adds more spice to the story, setting the stage for a climax that's bound to be explosive.
Say there's a third time.
Yes, Your Honor. Third time I caught her with him on Highway 18, I started following them, Your Honor. Then I called my brother, he told me to stop following
You was
them.
following
so I
the
turned
wrong
off.
people because that wasn't me.
So you were following Miss Morgan and the guy in the car. Guy was driving.
He didn't confront me. He said
It's not
he
his
stopped.
job to confront you.
Amidst his swirling doubts, fueled by the cheating allegations, Mr. Mangum reveals he moved out of their shared home, leaving Miss Morgan to fend for herself with their children. The emotional stakes are mounting, and just when you think it can't get more intense, the next piece of evidence comes into play.
So Mr. Mangum, you are convinced this child is not yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your brother has testified that he's seen Miss Morgan 3 times. So much doubt, you decided to move out of the house.
If you don't want to step up and be a
I also
dad,
have-
just don't be a
I
dad.
also
Don't
have
say
more
that
proof,
she's
Your
not
Honor.
yours. She's
Just past the 7-minute mark, Mr. Mangum presents what he claims are incriminating text messages from Miss Morgan's phone, suggesting she was romantically engaged with another man. The courtroom is on edge as this new evidence sends shockwaves through the audience. Stay tuned, because the judge's gavel is about to drop some major truth.
Back in November, while she was in the shower, I had got her phone. She had left on lock.
Why didn't
so
you confront
I
me
went
about
through
it?
and I seen her and another dude texting on Facebook Messenger talking about having sex and how they like each
That's
other.
not
what
true.
they-
Facebook, Messenger, there were texts about having sex with another guy?
The discussion takes a sharp turn towards the timing of the child's conception, closely aligning with when Mr. Mangum discovered the dubious messages. This pivotal moment in the discussion adds another layer of drama, paving the way for an earth-shattering revelation just around the corner.
And that would be very near the window of time Joy would have been conceived. And so it is for that reason you have sincere doubt about the paternity?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have never cheated on him, Your
on it. Even when he was unfaithful in our relationship throughout my pregnancy, and it was so depressing to have to see him be with other women and cheat with other women. And even after I saw all that, I was still faithful to him. And he just moved out the house, just switched up, and have not been taking care of our daughter.
As we approach the finale, Miss Morgan shares the harrowing emotional toll she's endured, raising their children alone amidst Mr. Mangum's denials of paternity. Her plight paints a heart-wrenching picture, priming us for the climactic unveiling that's about to unfold.
This is exhausting under regular circumstances where you have the father. And how has this been for you? And what have you been going through?
A lot. I have to take care of 2 children. He have left the house.
And so the tear that I see right now,
it's overwhelming. And for someone to be denying your child and they know they're the father is just so stressful.
So there really is a lot at stake. This is not make fun of something that's said, but ultimately we know this is really not a joke.
In a dramatic climax, the results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Mangum, you are the father.
This is the case of James versus Schimmel. The case is introduced involving Mr. James and Ms. Schimmel, who are back to figure out the paternity of Ms. Schimmel's 2-year-old daughter, Ochelle. The central conflict is laid out from the get-go, drawing viewers into the emotional whirlwind. Buckle up, the opening arguments are just the appetizer.
Mr. James, you and Ms. Schimmel have been in court over fidelity issues in the past. Now you are back in court and you are claiming that it would have been nearly impossible for you to have fathered Ms. Schimmel's 2-year-old daughter, Ochelle.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because we only slept together one time. Mr. James lays out his case, stressing the slim odds of him being the father based on their brief encounter. It's a pivotal point that lays bare the timing and circumstances under which Ochelle could have been conceived. But remember, in paternity drama, it only takes once. What's next could flip the script.
Well, Judge, just like you said, it's merely impossible for me to have fathered Ochelle. It just doesn't make any sense. We only slept together one time.
That's all it takes.
I agree. But she had an ongoing boyfriend at the time. It just doesn't make sense. The timeline is all the way off.
They recount the fateful night that started it all, from a lively party to the more intimate setting of her room. This backstory is crucial, framing their relationship and the paternity dispute in a very personal light. Fasten your seatbelt. The next part of the story ramps up the stakes.
We met at a party in Flint. She was very fun. When I met her, we had a good time. We drank a lot. We left the party together. We went to her room.
So you didn't waste any time. So you go to the room and you're intimate. Protection or unprotected?
We did not use protection. I got up the next morning. I went home 2 days later. She texted me and she told me she wanted to break it off. She didn't want to talk to me, text me. She wanted to patch things up with her boyfriend.
Mr. James reveals his confusion when Ms. Schimmel unexpectedly presents DNA test results, stirring the pot and thickening the plot in this emotional roller coaster. Just when you think you've seen it all, the story takes another sharp turn.
She told me in the beginning that this other gentleman, her ex, was the father. For at least 9 to 10 months that we had been together after that, I was prepared for that. I was thinking that her ex was the father. I come home from work one day. I went down and had Ochelle tested. I just got the results. So I'm sitting here like, what are you talking about? Because you've been telling me that, why did you even have to need a DNA test if you believe your ex is the father?
Because there's a third person involved. Suddenly, a third potential father enters the fray, adding a new layer of complexity and a hint of scandal to the case. This twist sends shockwaves through the courtroom. Gear up. The details about this mystery man are about to make jaws drop.
As soon as she tells me that he's not the father, I'm sitting here like, oh, what is going on? She drops it on me. You're the father. This man being 100% the father, to me being 100% the father. Who's the father?
Well, why doesn't that make sense? If the other guy is not the father, why wouldn't you believe you are the father?
Because there's a third person involved.
So you have a car accident, but you get her phone? In a mix of high drama and dangerous decisions, a car accident triggered by a fight over a phone unveils deeper issues of trust. It's a wild recount that shows just how tumultuous their relationship has been. Brace yourself, because what's on that phone is a game changer.
This is what happened. We were driving home from an amusement park. All of a sudden, her phone goes off. Now, I'm thinking, it's 12:30 at night. Who's messaging her? And I'm with her. So I'm driving her, and she's sneakily and deleting it, sneaking it. So I'm telling her, I'm like, let me see the phone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drive. Let me see the phone. I reached for the car and lost control of my car, wrecked my car.
Oh, Lord, and you all were okay, though?
We were okay, but I retrieved the phone.
Mr. James shares his touching backstory of adoption, adding layers of emotional depth to his paternity concerns, and giving us a glimpse into why he's so invested in the outcome. It's a heartfelt revelation that sets the stage for the emotional crescendo to come.
And so you've been in this relationship, you all are growing your family.
Yeah, I love her with all my heart. I was adopted. I know the importance between knowing your biological family, well, my adopted family. They raised me, happy family. My birth mom left me in the in the hospital with a premature, but she signed the adoption papers and left.
The climax hits like a ton of bricks as the paternity results are finally here.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. James, you are not the father.
Can you believe that just unfolded right in front of our eyes? Ms. Cates kicks off her case by revealing a white lie that led Mr. G to deny paternity of her 2-year-old son, Messiah. She passionately argues that Mr. G, despite his doubts, would make a great dad if only the DNA test confirms his paternity. Mr. G claps back, insistent he's not the father, and even drops a hint that he might know who the real dad is. Strap in, because the roller coaster is just leaving the station.
Ms. Cates, you opened your case today because a white lie told resulted in the defendant denying your 2-year-old son. You say you know the defendant is a good man, but he'll be a better father once the results are revealed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did that just make your jaw drop? Ms. Cates spills the tea about the night she first locked eyes with Mr. G, painting a picture of instant chemistry and a whirlwind start to their physical relationship. They met at a bar through a mutual friend, and things heated up faster than a microwave dinner. The crowd's reaction is priceless when Ms. Cates admits they didn't waste any time getting close. You'll want to stick around because what happens next is even more jaw-dropping.
So take me to the night you met Mr. G.
I was at the bar. We met through a mutual friend, and we just hit it off. When I seen him, I just thought that he was the most handsome guy I ever seen on this word. But
So how soon after you met at the club did you start a sexual relationship?
That same night.
How's that for a plot twist? Mr. G throws some serious shade, suggesting Ms. Cates is only chasing him because he's somewhat of a local celebrity. He expresses doubts about her loyalty, hinting she might have been playing the field. Their exchange heats up, highlighting a complex web of trust issues and accusations. Fasten your seatbelt. It's about to get bumpier.
Why you trying to pin that baby on me? Because I'm popping with this music stuff. Famous,
Right,
you
whatever.
feel me? Like everybody in my city know me. You know what I'm saying?
You say you hood
You
famous,
just want a piece of that.
and that's why you think
She
she's
ain't
trying to pin the baby on you.
Yeah.
And you say you were getting to know her and you really liked her.
Yeah, I really like vibe. You know what I'm saying? We clicked. It was like, it was here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And so you thought that she was feeling you the way you were feeling her, and you all had a connection, which meant with other people.
yes, correct.
Didn't see that coming, did you? Ms. Burns, Mr. G's sister, jumps into the fray with claims that Ms. Cates was too cozy with other dudes at the club. She describes seeing Ms. Cates in what she considered compromising situations, which Ms. Cates hotly disputes, insisting she was just mingling like anyone would at a club. The drama escalates quickly. Keep watching, the revelations are far from over.
What did you see, Miss Burns?
Cause she'll be in the club with this guy and it'd be too close for comfort. You not finna be all in this guy every time I turn around, all in this and all the extras.
No.
It was more than
no,
that.
how we won't there, so hush. And if I'm at the club, I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna socialize, because that's what you do at the club. I'm not gonna stand and hold up the that.
Wow.
You all up on them, all
I'm not
out
all
in, too
no,
close to
sis.
comfort. You just met this guy, so no.
no,
I thought it was
sis.
dancing if you in the club.
Talk about a bombshell. Ms. Cates drops a major confession, admitting she was juggling more than just Mr. G at the time. There was another man in the picture. She reluctantly reveals this under intense questioning, which throws a giant wrench into the works, clouding the paternity issue even further. Don't switch channels yet. The stakes are about to get even higher.
So, Miss Cates, are you denying you were dating other men at the time?
I was seeing him and someone at the same time.
Well, that's the white lie then.
I'm not denying that I was in a relationship with someone else and it was just that one person. Club, flirting with this guy at the mall, hug out, all of that, nah, that's a negative.
I ain't blind and I don't wear glasses.
Here's where it gets spicy. Ms. Cates dives deep into the details of the night she believes was the moment Messiah was conceived. Despite Mr. G's persistent denials and evident skepticism from the crowd, she stands her ground with vivid memories of that fateful night. The tension is palpable. Brace yourself. The verdict is right around the corner.
What happened that night? You say you remember the night. What happened?
You know, he's a local artist, so he took me to a party at the studio where they threw like a pool party. We had fun that night. We went out, even after we partied there, we went club hopping, and then it went down the whole night. Like, that's when my baby was conceived.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. The climax of the episode hits like a thunderbolt when
It has been determined by this court. Mr. G, you are not the father.
Told you so.